They are at the 44-yard line of the Chargers. Taylor out to the left side. And Ricky Waters to the right. And a play fake. Young goes deep middle. He's got Jerry Rice. Touchdown 49ers. First touchdown of the game. Comes after only a minute and 24 seconds. 44 yards. Touchdown pass to Rice. He sets another record. How can they leave Jerry on something like that?
Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Good Morning Niner Empire in the evening. Hello.
We need to find a new name for that.
I know. We might be workshopping the name because I used to put it out. We used to go out early in the morning, but now because of my schedule.
I remember because I used to watch it at the job early in the morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah. Anyway, hello, Jason. Welcome back to the show.
Hello.
So Jason is pretty much officially going to be co-host. We're going to do this show every Friday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's going to kind of be a wrap up of the week. Any extra news that comes out after our Tuesday show, try to throw in on here, and then do a little bit of some press conference stuff, especially for the Friday press conferences. Go over the injury report and preview the upcoming game that week. So let's get started on these press conferences.
And away we go.
Okay. Here we'll play the first one. This one is Shanahan on injury from game.
Needs surgery, but it's going to be some time. He'll end up going on IR here. Javon Kinlaw had the ankle sprain, but we're not expecting that to bother him. He should be all right. All right, guys. On the injuries from the game, Elijah Mitchell, MCL sprain. Not going to need surgery, but it's going to be some time. He'll end up going on IR here. Javon Kinlaw had the ankle sprain, but we're not expecting that to bother him. He should be all right. All right, guys.
All right. So I let that replay twice because we caught the beginning of that. Missed the beginning of that. So last week, Elijah Mitchell went down, and it looked pretty. It was a knee injury. Whenever we hear knee injury, never good. Because don't want it to be ACL because those are season ending. So it's a MCL sprain, which is good. That's not worst case scenario. Goodish. He's gonna miss some time, but could be a lot worse. Try to look at
that hit on his knee looked really, really bad. I'm not sure if you watched the play of it, but it looked like when I saw it in slow motion when they showed it afterwards, I was like, he's done for the year.
Yeah. It's gotten, I don't know what it is, but it's gotten easier to kind of tell when it's super serious, like super, super serious on the field, especially with knee injuries. I don't know. I think everybody kind of has like a gut feeling when they see it happen. And stuff like when Jimmy went down of his ACL in 2018, I think a lot of us were pretty I was pretty positive that it was an ACL tear. Just the way like it buckled and all of that stuff. So bad news, good news. At least he's not out for the whole season. Hopefully, so that's positive. Sprains are always tricky. So wish him the best recovery. Hopefully he comes back quickly and feels better and
we're gonna see what Wilson has, what TDP has, what Mason has. Part of me is actually, man, we should have tried to stash either Hasty or Sermon on the practice squad or something somewhere, just to have a little bit extra. Or even like one person I saw that's still out there right now is Tevin Coleman. I wouldn't mind bringing Tevin Coleman back.
If we needed to bring somebody in, he's a good guy because he knows he's been in Shanahan's system a lot. So he wouldn't have to spend so much time on the playbook. Yeah. So like
he's a whole what do you call it? A league holder.
Yeah. And so I wouldn't mind him either.
He's not gonna be great.
Yeah. He'd just be a good backup, good solid guy to fill in when we need him to.
Yeah. Stopgap. That's the word I was looking for, the term I was looking for.
Yeah. And then Javon Kinlaw looks like it's an ankle sprain. Kyle didn't really say if it was high ankle sprain or exactly how serious it is. He doesn't seem too worried about it, which is good.
He came back and played, and he played decently well the rest of the game. So that definitely, maybe just a couple of days off of it, and he should be fine and good to go for this Sunday.
Yeah, that's definitely all right. Okay, we're gonna go on. I'm going to skip the Shanahan when Elijah Mitchell got hurt, and I'm gonna see, and then I'm gonna go to Shanahan when he expects Mitchell to be back, just so we might have a better time estimate for that.
I mean, we're estimating around 2 months, 8 weeks, so give or take a few. So hopefully it goes well and it's earlier, but you never know with those things. So, but that's what we're guessing. I mean, we're estimating.
So he says about 2 months, about 8 weeks, which that sounds about right. Which is why it's a big bummer. At least for Mitchell, it's not season ending, so he'll probably get some playing time at the end of the season, closer to the end of the season. And
maybe he comes back fresh for a nice end of the year run, push into the playoffs. I mean, it's always a hope for it.
Yeah, that would be great. Because it is, well, we always, like, injuries are always, it sucks when they happen. Sometimes we just need that fresh blood near the end of the season when our guys are worn out from playing for so long. So sometimes it sucks, but sometimes it could definitely be a confidence booster and just to get some more fresh guys out there who aren't as tired and run down from the season.
Kind of happened a little bit last year when Jeff Wilson finally came back.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have as big of an impact that we saw, but he did help take the load off of Mitchell so much towards the end of the season.
Yeah. Alrighty. Here's Shanahan on his confidence in the backup running backs.
I mean, we're always been comfortable with Jeff just because of his experience and what he's done here, and we know what we're going to get. The other two guys, I mean, they made our team for a reason. They're two talented players who we think can help us a lot running the ball, but they got to grow up fast. They're trying to compete and learn how to play better without the ball in their hand. With injuries and stuff, they're going to have more opportunities to get some carries and things like that, obviously. But they got to grow up and get this experience while on the run. So a lot more pressure will be on those guys, and we're going to have to pick it up as a group to help them out. I mean, we're always been comfortable with.
Yeah. So that's Shanahan on the backup, which he sounds pretty hopeful for them. I think it's definitely a good thing. I think it's good that we have Jeff Wilson Jr. He's been in the system for a little bit. He does have some success here in San Francisco. He's made some really good plays. I always think about that running that catch touchdown against Arizona in like the last 30 seconds back. I think in was it 2019? I think it was.
Yes.
I can't remember. Yeah.
I believe it was 2019.
Yeah. I honestly, with Shanahan's system, I don't know what it is, but Shanahan could get guys running the ball pretty well for the most part. So I'm not too terribly worried.
He can pull me and you off the street tomorrow, and we'd probably rush for about 100 yards and a touchdown.
Probably.
He's just got it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not too terribly worried. I mean, I like if you look at our list of running backs that we've had on the team, there's no guys repeated being the lead rusher, I don't think.
Yep.
Since
like
Kyle's
6-7 years now.
Yeah, since Kyle's been here. It's been that long.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll just see how that goes. Yeah, and then our next one is Shanahan on Dre Greenlaw's face mask that happened last Sunday.
It was an unfortunate one. I couldn't tell on the films. You had to go to the TV copy we didn't have it on the film from our angle, so I saw it on the TV copy this morning, and he has his back to him. He's reaching around trying to grab for the ball. He can't see where, because the guy has his back turned to Greenlaw, and he reaches and grabs, and it happens to be his face mask, and then he lets go of it. But they're going to call that because he did grab his face mask, but there's not much Drake could have done different about it. It was unfortunate, and what we got to do is overcome after that, and we had our opportunities to overcome that after it. I think we dropped the pick. I think Huff had a TFL after that. Then they ended up converting to third down, so it ended up hurting us in the long run. But stuff like that happens, and there's no excuse to give up the whole drive. It was an unfortunate one.
Yeah. So the reason I didn't skip over this one is just because I'm really hoping something I'm looking for, and this we'll go more into this when we do our little preview thing. I just hope that there is a way where we can trim down on these penalties that we had last week. Some of these more like disciplinary, like routine, like penalties that I feel like we have, like unnecessary face masks, all those weird ones that we had last week.
Yeah. You take away some of those, like I think it was 4 times we had them stopped on third down, and then we gave them first downs with penalties. I mean,
yeah,
that's pretty much where we lost it right then and there. Is we gave them opportunities, and I know a lot of people that look at Justin Fields and they see someone who hasn't been that successful so far in the league. He's a damn good quarterback, and with that athletic ability that he has, given enough chances, he's going to make something happen, and he did a couple of times.
For sure. All right. Yeah, that's one big thing that I'm hoping. Though with who we're playing, we'll see how that goes. So yeah. All right. Next audio clip is Shanahan on the inside offensive line.
I thought they did a real good job. I thought they did good in pass protection. I thought it was a real good positive first game for those 3. By no means were they perfect, but I thought they did a real good job for the first time. I thought they did a real good job.
All right. So with that one, I think that's interesting to me. I do agree with him. I do think overall the inside O-line played all right. I just hope that they keep getting better each week. That's what I'm looking forward to. Shanahan doesn't seem too concerned about it. And for me, it's very hard for me because I know we all make these calls and stuff sometimes on Twitter and whatever that we feel like we see stuff that they don't see or whatever on film or whatever. And how we all been worried about the O-line. So it's kind of interesting to see his perspective of it and stuff like that. Do you have any thoughts about it?
I think Kyle's right. They didn't play great, but I don't think they were as bad as a lot of people were saying they were. If you look at some of the metrics from PFF and stuff like that, they were actually among some of the highest rated players that the team had overall. Like I said, I'm not sure how much of the game you watched, but I saw Trent and McGlinchey get pushed back more often than they did. And as someone who's played in similar type weather, it is extremely hard to go to pass block in those types of situations. I mean, you're starting at a disadvantage from the get with just because they're just coming at you downhill, and you've got to try and plant your feet in that kind of a stuff. So I mean, especially on the edges, it wasn't great, but I don't think it was as bad as everybody wants it to be. And a lot of that, I think, is just simply because they don't like Aaron Banks. They don't like Jake Brendel. Most people seem to be okay with Buford because he's been pretty impressive for a rookie so far. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of people are going with their feelings rather than going with what is actually there. Now, that said, going forward, I think if they don't continue to get better, I don't see a reason why we wouldn't throw Daniel Brunskill into any of those 3 positions to shore it up very quickly. Because obviously, I still think he's better than all 3 of them individually, but he's still more valuable as a backup to all 3.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that is true. I don't think because the Trey only gets sacked twice that game, if I remember correctly.
I believe it was 2, yeah.
See, I mean, not great, but that's not terrible. At least he's not getting like sacked like all the time.
No,
So I think that's definitely a good sign. Is like they played at a good enough level in those kind of conditions where like the game wasn't like on them, the whole time. Like we didn't lose because the O line just couldn't block, and the defensive line just kept getting through. So
yeah,
I
I
mean,
see so many people jumping down the offensive line's throat, but we don't want to talk about fumbles. We don't want to talk about the blown coverage that led to the Pettis touchdown. I mean, we should have been
that
up
was
easy
terrible.
14-0. Yeah, he was loving that one, honestly. But I mean,
Oh, he probably
but
was.
so I mean, but everybody wants to automatically jump down Trey's throat and those three guys up in the middle. But we don't want to talk about all these other things that happened as well. It's like, look, this game was one of the biggest games of missed opportunities that I've seen. Like, we had a chance to be up 14-0 in the first, and we just couldn't finish.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Then we're gonna play Shanahan on the play of safeties. I believe is what you put here.
I was real impressed with their play. Huff was all over the place. I mean, it seemed like that live, and I felt even stronger once I watched the tape. I thought Gibson had a huge challenge stepping in and playing for Jimmy Ward. He had looked good in practice all week, and it was awesome to get him out there. You could tell he's a vet who could recognize offensive schemes and do some stuff, and almost had a chance for that big pick right after that penalty that we had. The guy kind of held his arm and couldn't make the one-hander. That was almost a huge play, but I was really happy with how both of those guys play. I was real impressed with their play.
All right. I do think that they played, especially Hufanga has really, he played really well last week. I thought personally, from the clips I saw and stuff of what I've seen from him, he's really just impressed me this whole off season, just from the little bit we've seen. Do you have any thoughts on any of these?
I thought Gibb stepped in pretty well. I mean, there was a few plays where he was a little bit out of place and stuff like that, but I think for the most part, filling in, he did well. And like I said on our show, the last show on Tuesday, I think we have our own version of Troy Polamalu with Tano Hufanga. I love the way he's everywhere. Whether he's making tackles up in the box or he's making interceptions, he's covering guys. He's just all over. And I don't want to necessarily say he's going to be the caliber of a player that Troy Polamalu was, but if we can have some version of that for a player who's just a defensive playmaker all over the field, what else do we? That's what you want back there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. I think since he is all over the field, he's so involved in what's going on, and he just wants to get after the ball. Like, that's what I feel like. He's trying to always locate where it is and stuff like that too. And yeah, I'm really excited to see how he keeps going this season and seeing how that goes. Definitely. Here's Kyle Shanahan on, I'm assuming, a Jimmy G trade, because I'm assuming this is because of the Dak Prescott news that happened last week. So
just like all players, and we'll listen to anybody on anything. That never changes for any player, so or coach. So we'll always listen to anybody.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. See you Wednesday.
All right, guys. See you Wednesday. Just like all.
All right. Honestly, I don't know. I could definitely see it happening if the Cowboys reach out and want Jimmy for some weird reason.
He's better than Rush.
Yeah. Because I think that did Dak get hurt during a game, or was this a different kind of injury? Come on,
it was during the game. I think he broke one of his fingers on his throwing hand.
Yeah, because he's gonna have surgery, so he can't throw for forever.
It's between 6 to 8 weeks, from depending on who you ask. I mean, Jerry Jones thinks he's going to be back in a month, which I think most people think that's really pushing it. But I think the consensus is going to be anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks before it heals enough to where he can actually play again.
Yeah. So I could definitely, and I think Kyle is right. I think they're open to any kind of discussion at all. But I think right now it's just in the Cowboys' lap and whatever they decide they want to do. Because I don't know. I just can't picture Kyle or John picking up the phone and calling them and seeing that direction. I don't know.
No, that's definitely in the that's you make the Cowboys come to you or any team in general. Like I said, I think Kyle said the right thing. Any players on the block, if you come to him, like I think me and Trey were talking about, what if they show up and they're like, hey, we'll give you 2 firsts and Micah Parsons, or hell, just a first and Micah Parsons for Trey. Okay. You know, we have Jaymie. We could develop Brock Purdy and just do that whole thing all over again this season. So I mean, you always listen. You're never, if you were to not listen to some sort of an offer from somebody, you have to be an idiot. You can laugh at their face, we'll give you, a 6th-round draft pick for Trey Lance. Okay, yeah, well, I'm going to laugh in your face, but, like I said, what if they want to offer a first and maybe a second first-rounder, or maybe somebody along the lines of Micah Parsons or something along those lines? Then you start thinking about it. So, again, you have to listen to anything that's tossed your way. At the very least, like they said before, you always pick up the phone, no matter what.
Yeah. I think that's just how you just get to have some really solid players on your team that you build around your team, and all of that stuff is that you don't count anything out. You always have an open mind and stuff, and how you present. Like if the Niners wanted to, any team honestly wants to get a trade or to trade somebody, it's the way you present it to the other team. And I don't know. We'll just have to see. We'll monitor that one. I haven't seen anything more concrete or any
I think
rumors.
it's a little unlikely considering it's in the NFC, though. If it was an AFC, it'd be easier to get away with, obviously. But like I said, shoot your best shot. What's the worst you can do? Tell you no?
Yep, pretty much. All right. And we got 2 more clips, guys. We have Shanahan on a last injury update.
George Kittle, questionable. Brunskill's out. That's all we got. George Kittle, questionable.
Okay, wrong one. Hold on. This is the other one. This is mainly about Kittle. We're going to talk about Kittle in a minute.
Looked awesome.
Really?
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
I mean, let's be honest. What else can you say about Kittle? He's awesome. It's pretty much simple.
I definitely think it's good that Kittle was out there practicing, doing his. I think it was just an individual drills.
I think he did a little stretching with the team for the most part, but yeah, he wasn't a full participation.
No. So I could, since it's Kittle, I wouldn't put it past him to play this Sunday. If he's in, Shanahan did say that he is feeling a lot better this week than he did last week. I believe I've heard something about
the home opener.
Yeah,
it's the home opener. He
wants
to. We're going to have to hold him up. Yeah, exactly. We're going to have to actually chain him down to not show up and play for the home opener. So
and it's against our defensive rival, like our biggest defensive rival.
Exactly. He's up for this.
Yeah. So yeah, he definitely probably really, really wants to, which is probably why he might have been more chill with missing last week, because he would have been like, if I missed this last week, I have a better shot of starting and playing the following week, which is the home opener, which is in front of all the Niner fans and all that stuff at home. So yeah,
definitely. He wants to get that place rocking.
Yeah, he's questionable. John, I read somewhere on Twitter that John Lynch said that he has a game time decision again this week, which depends on how he feels. He gets tomorrow off, so hopefully he feels good and we see Kittle this Sunday. It'd be very nice.
Even if it's a limited portion, seeing him come out, to start a series at the very least, will definitely get everybody pumped.
Oh yeah, for sure. Alrighty. So I'm going to share the final practice report real quick. It's actually not that long, which is actually surprising. Okay, so here is our final practice report that was released, I believe, today. So Daniel Brunskill, he is definitely still out. He's still dealing with his hamstring injury. So hopefully he feels better soon. It must be a pretty bad hamstring because he missed last week as well. Kittle is, like we just talked about, is questionable. He did have limited participation today. Trent Williams, I believe the non-injury related is his vet day, I'm assuming.
More
than likely. So I am not worried about him because he's full participant on Thursday and Friday. Drake Greenlaw, his elbow looks like since he played last week, he looks like he's on track to play because he's full participant today, even though he was limited on Wednesday and Thursday. So we'll see. He's not questionable or anything or doubtful. So that's definitely a good sign. And then Womack, I didn't realize had an eye injury, but he did practice
I had
today.
not heard anything about that either. I'm not sure what is up with that. He probably just got poked in the eye at some point.
Probably. So he probably just irritated his eye or something. I don't know. Because that's the one that's a surprise to me. But it looks like he was a full participant today, so that's a good sign. So yeah, definitely shorter than last week. So I think that's good.
The only one definitely out is going to be Brunskill from the way it looks right now. So
yeah, that is a little bit concerning, but I'm just hoping he's all right. So, all right, that is that. All right, so let's do a quick little preview for the game this Sunday. Home opener against Seattle Seahawks at home at Levi's. Will probably be a very fun game. They're always a lot of fun with Seattle. They're always a little bit crazy.
They're always fun for me up here in Seattle. It's been nonstop trash talk the entire week. Because first place, blah blah blah. That's all I've heard all week long.
Oh God. All right. How did they? I didn't watch what did they play Monday night? Did they Monday night football game? How did they look? I didn't get a good chance to watch that game.
Well, kind of like us with the Bears.
Uh-huh.
They drove down twice in the first quarter and it fumbled it inside the 5-yard line twice. They did the exact same. If you took those two games and watch them, it's like watching a mirror because the Broncos should have been, or had this game handily put away by halftime. They just couldn't finish. But when you also got to remember, Pete Carroll and everybody in that organization put everything into this game. So who knows how much they have left in that tank because honestly, week 1, that was their Super Bowl kind of a thing. This is us. Screw you, Russ. You were acting like a diva. We don't need you. We can be better than you, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they flew in old players just to get under Russ. I mean, it was a whole thing. But at the same time, like I said, just like watching our game, the Broncos had every opportunity to get up 21-0 in the first quarter. And Geno Smith probably had the half of his lifetime. He was 16-17 going into the second half. Granted, everything was dink and dunk for the most part. But like I said, he played the best half of football in his 8 years, his 8-year career. So, we'll see how it is. They did lose Jamal Adams. He's done for the season.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, so he's done for the season. So they're already down their best defender to begin with. So that takes that extra man out of the box a lot of times for the most part. But it's the Seahawks. You know how this rivalry is. You know how Carroll, he knows how to coach against the 49ers. They'll be ready. My biggest question is, what do they have left energy-wise after putting in so much in Monday night? Obviously, they're going to be down a day from playing Monday night.
That is true, too. And because I do remember when the schedule came out and we saw that it was Broncos Seahawks week 1, which made sense because of how big of a deal it was that Russ was traded. So yeah.
NFL did a magnificent job with that game. We're not going to give you a chance to get used to you playing a couple of games here and there before we send you back. Oh, and we're going to send you back to Seattle, and we're going to send you back on prime time on Monday night. That was well laid out by the NFL. They didn't even do that for when Brady went back to New England.
Man, it's wild. It's very wild. I'm still getting used to Russ not being in Seattle. Even like it's weird to me. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Seattle's always scrappy. That's the thing I've realized about them over the years is especially in division games are just a different beast because all the players they want that number one spot really badly. So they're gonna probably take whatever energy they have left after that game on Monday night, and they're like, we get to play against us Monday night, and then we get to play the 49ers on Sunday. So it's gonna be an interesting game. I think it's not going to be an easy game. Never is against Seattle. I never know what to expect when we play these games. It's always difficult. So I don't know. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think the spread right now, when I looked at it this morning, was 8.5, and I'm betting a few people on the spread. So we'll see what I honestly think that that's a little bit high for the spread. I actually thought it was going to be closer to 6, but it's 8.5. I'm probably going to lose money on that, but whatever. I take all the bets I can get for these ones. But yeah, a lot of people are freaking out because supposedly it's going to rain again this weekend. I'm like, that's fine. Let it rain. As long as it's not a monsoon.
It's not going to be.
Yeah, so it's not going to be as bad.
It's not because rain in California is very different than rain in other parts of the country. So once it's rain, sometimes it's not going to be as bad. It's really not. Yeah. I wouldn't really worry about it too much, honestly. Like, yes, it kind of sucks, but you know what? They should be fine. It's not going to be that bad.
It's not going to be like last week. Like I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, well, the Bears played in the same field." Yeah, exactly. And the Bears made a couple of plays. You put that game on decent weather or a field that wasn't, 3 inches deep in water, we probably easily win that game. But people, again, it goes to the whole Jimmy Trey thing. Those that don't like Trey have been very loud this week, and they're going to just say nothing but, "Oh, it was just because of Trey," and all that. Man, it's been crazy.
Like I said in the post-game show last week, I don't put the loss against the Bears on Trey specifically. I think it was we just didn't play like very clean football last week. We had a lot of penalties. There was just a lot of mental errors and stuff, and
so many mental errors.
So many. So I don't put that all on him. So I really hope that Trey somehow comes out this week, has a really good, solid game, just kind of puts people more at ease. Like, okay, he can do this. He'll be fine. And yeah, I'm not too. I mean, it's gonna be. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting seeing a new court Trey didn't play against Seattle last year, did he? In those games he started? I don't think he did.
I think he played one.
He did? Okay.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say this will be kind of a new quarterback against Seattle, so the game plan might be able to be a little bit different and throw Seattle off a little bit, maybe. So
the Broncos ran pretty good against them. So
they did? Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Do you have a score prediction or anything?
I will go 24-17.
Literally, I was like right around there. I was gonna say like 21-24 49ers. So I think it's gonna be close.
Fast, I think.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be close. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're gonna be still right. We might have to ride out that high that they're gonna get. They're probably gonna come in with a bunch of gusto, cocksure because they just beat Russell, they just beat the Broncos. That's definitely gonna hype them up. We just got to kind of weather that out a little bit, or come out, punch them in the face with a couple quick scores and knock them back down. But you can't let them stick around.
No, that's the problem. That's what we if we get a good lead, we need to keep adding to it so that they can't come back, because we always kind of it's a big problem. And it's not just us. There's other teams that do this. And I don't know that much about football, like schematic sides and all of that stuff, like more technical stuff about football, but it's very difficult. So we'll see. I'm excited for it. I'm excited. It's early this season, which is our first game against them is early this season, which is exciting. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I don't know.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about? But any position groups in particular, or just anything else?
I just think the team overall. You had mentioned it earlier about knocking off the mental mistakes, the false. Trent had two false starts. When has Trent ever had 2 false starts in a game in his career?
Yeah.
The stupid was it Al Shahir that hit Justin when he was pretty much out of bounds already. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
We got to knock those stuff out. Even the one with Dre Greenlaw, where he decided, with Dante, do I go after Justin Fields or do I cover Dante Pettis? 100%, he made the right choice going to Justin Fields. Because to be honest, even with a perfect throw, I was like, Pettis is going to drop that. Oh shit, he actually caught that pass for the first time in his career. I'm not even, I didn't even necessarily consider that a blown coverage as much as you always go for Justin Fields in that situation. You do not trust Dante Pettis to make that catch. I would never. The Dante Pettis we know, if he was a Niner, and that was a pass from Trey or Jimmy, he'd have dropped it. Hands down, easily. So I'm not. Yes, the blown coverage, but I don't necessarily blame him because I think most people would have made the same decision.
Yeah, but, like if you have a shot to get to the quarterback, you take it. I feel like.
Yeah. Especially when it's Dante Pettis, like that guy. But like you said, if we can knock out those mental mistakes, we're in that game and we're winning it by the end of the third quarter. So I know for some people, actually quite a few people, the sky is falling already. Trey's a bust, blah, blah, blah. Like I said on the show on Tuesday, everybody, I'm going to pull a page from Aaron Rodgers. RELAX. Just relax. So it's the first game of the new season. Even if we somehow lose this game, it's only the second game of the season. We got 15 more to go. It's not the end of the world. It's going to suck, but it's not the end of the world at all.
Yeah. Look, it'd be nice if we can not lose a single game, go all the way in, guarantee that first seed spot in the playoffs, play at home. Like, that's the dream. And we all want that. Yeah. We all do. But at the end of the day, the odds of that happening are not high at all. So it's week 1. They're just coming back. It's been a long off season. We're not out of the playoffs
so
yet.
Long.
It really was. We're not
with all the drama and the rumors. It's like I am done with the off season. It was so bad.
For real, guys. I was so sick of it. You guys still have no idea. Yeah, but let's just relax. It's the beginning of the season. We still got a shot to go all the way. We'll fix. I'm sure that Kyle will fix stuff that he can fix. Let's just see. Let's just let him keep playing and stuff, and just go with the team. I saw a lot of people on Twitter overreacting to it, being like, it said like it's week 1, everything was bad, horrible, and like, yeah, it was terrible, but it's also like we have 16 more games to play. Yeah. So we still have some time,
Just now, a little bit. We only got like 3.5 more months.
Yeah. So we'll just see how it goes. I'm not too worried about it yet. I'm ready.
Talk to me in 3 weeks, and then we'll see how bad it is.
Yeah, for sure.
We started 2-5 last year, 2-3 something, and still made the NFC Championship game.
Exactly.
So not the end of the world.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else? I think that is it, unless there's anything else that you can think of.
No, I think we covered everything. The only thing I will say is that I do not have the Seattle Dog video up for the Big Eat for Big Peeps. I'm having computer issues. The video's done, it's shot. I just can't upload it and edit it yet. But well, hopefully my computer's updating itself and reinstalling now. So hopefully, if it works, then I'll probably work on it tonight. But and for those that don't know what a Seattle dog is, it's any kind of a hot dog type object with cream cheese. Trust me, I know it sounds weird. I thought it was stupid the first time I ate it. Now I do not want a hot dog any other way.
Cool. Very cool. And yeah, and you're doing those videos for every city that we're visiting?
Yeah, every city we go to. Like next week when we go to Denver, it's going to be a Denver omelet.
Cool.
Or apparently, I've always known it as a Denver omelet. Most people call it a Western omelet. I've always known it as Denver.
Okay. I mean, it sounds good to me. I love those kind of videos. And I think it's very cool. Very, very cool. Alrighty.
It's just something that adds in, the stuff that I've done for my weight loss stuff. And now I can bring it over to this. The only problem I'm having is that we play a lot of Southern teams, like we're a lot of Latino population. Even though everybody loves tacos, I can't do, and we're even going to Mexico. I can't do tacos and enchiladas every week. That's the best. Like what do I do in LA, Arizona? I'm like, oh, all these places have great tacos and enchiladas and burritos.
For real. For real.
So that's what we got going on right now.
Yep. So definitely, guys, keep an eye on our social media pages. We are at 90FIFA on Twitter and 90FIFA Radio on Facebook and Instagram. We're at 90FIFA Radio on YouTube, and I believe 90FIFA Radio on Twitch.
Yep.
I believe so. So keep an eye on all of those. All of our shows are streaming to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So whatever one you prefer to watch on, you have your options for that. And yeah, because on Sundays we'll have our pregame show, our halftime show hosted by Jason, and the postgame show, which I will be hosting for the postgame show. And yeah, so keep an eye on all our social medias. We'll keep you updated if anything and all of that stuff. And have a good weekend and go Niners.
Bang, bang, Niner gang.